Welcome students of Thakur Vidya Mandir High School and Junior College. Students, today we are going to begin on with a new chapter, that is chapter 11, Magnetic Material. This chapter we have already revised in your standard 11th. Let us understand what does magnetic material is all about. Students, you might have heard about magnets. Magnets are of three types, that is paramagnetic, ferromagnetic and diamagnetic. Let me explain you the first diagram over here. This diagram is showing you a short bar magnet suspended freely within an inextensible string. What you could vision out here are the two poles of the magnet, that is a south pole and a north pole. The other magnet, which is aligned perpendicular to it, is again showing two poles, that is a north pole and a south pole. The statement which I have written over there, student, shows us the repulsion, that these magnets are not attracted but are moving apart from each other, and that is why we have written it as like poles repel each other. Let us move on to what does this chapter actually explains us. Let me begin on with the introduction of the chapter. The magnetic dipole and magnetic dipole moment due to a short bar magnet can be studied as follows. The magnetic field due to a short bar magnet at any point in its vicinity could be understood very clearly when I align a small bar magnet suspending freely. It remains along the geographic north and south directions, and this property is readily used in navigations. Let us understand what this chapter further explains us. It explains us the different types of magnetism, that is diamagnetism, paramagnetism and ferromagnetism, based on the properties and the examples. The end of the chapter deals with the applications of magnetism such as permanent magnet, electromagnet and magnetic shieldings. Well, students, let us understand the torque acting on a magnetic dipole in a uniform magnetic field with the help of this diagram. This diagram is indicating you the short bar magnet which is aligned in a freely suspended position. Now, this magnet is kept in a uniform magnetic field. The two forces which are acting on it is a small m, which is represented as dipole moment, and capital B, which is representing the magnetic induction felt on the bar magnet. You could see there is a small angle which is being made between the second arrow and the third arrow, that is showing you with the south pole of the magnet. There is a small angle. This small angle is represented as theta. So when I talk about students with the derivational part of this, we could see that in standard 11th you all have already studied that tau is equal to m multiplied by capital B, that is the magnetic moment multiplied by magnetic induction. Let us move on to the derivational part of this torque acting on a magnetic moment. Now, the first point says that the torque acting on rectangular current carrying coil kept in a uniform magnetic field is given by tau is equal to m multiplied by b, and the forces acting on the bar magnet due to the magnetic field are along the different lines of action. Now, these are going to form a concept which is called as nothing but a couple. Due to the torque, the bar magnet will undergo the rotational motion, and whenever the displacement is taking place, the work is being done. So when the electric dipole is kept in an electric field, the energy stored is nothing but electrostatic in nature, and that is why we write that the magnetic potential energy, which is given by U small m, giving you an integral of pi multiplied by theta multiplied by d theta, that is the small difference in the angle. So when I talk about the magnetic potential energy, it is given as minus mb cos theta, where we will be considering on the different positions that is being felt on the magnetic moment, whether it becomes positive, negative, depending upon the cos theta which is being formed. Let us proceed to the various positions of the bar magnet. Now this slide is showing you the three different cases. As you could see it out over here, the case 1 is showing you that when theta is equal to 0 degree, my cos 0 will become 1. Therefore, my potential energy will be equal to minus mb. And this is showing the position when the magnetic moment and the magnetic induction are parallel and the bar magnet possesses the minimum potential energy, and in this it is in the most stable state. Let us move on to the case 2. Now the case 2 is showing you when theta is equal to 180 degree, my cos theta 180 is minus 1. Therefore, my potential energy, which was negative, now multiplied by minus 1 becomes positive. So, my potential energy is MB. Now, this is showing the position when M and capital B are anti-parallel and the bar magnet possesses the maximum potential energy and thus is in the most unstable state. Let me move on to the third stage, which is nothing but the case 3. That is when theta is equal to 90 degree. Therefore, cos 90 is equal to 0 and my potential energy is equal to 0. So, this is the position when the bar magnet is aligned perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field. Therefore, the potential energy becomes as a function of theta as 0. So, this explains us the various positions of the magnetic dipole moment which is being felt, whether it is positive, negative, or whether it is showing a 0 value. Now we move on to the second last topic for today's part 1, that is magnetic moment of an electron revolving around the nucleus of an atom. Students, in this you could see a single electron revolving around the nucleus. Let me explain you that I am considering an electron revolving positively charged nucleus in a circular orbit as a simple model. Now this electron revolving in an orbit is equivalent to a tiny current loop. As you could see the loop which has been formed out. The magnetic dipole moment due to the current loop is given by small m, which is equal to product of capital I multiplied by A. Now capital I is nothing but the current and A is the area enclosed by the loop. You could see a capital L which is showing you the orbital angular momentum. Now with the help of this diagram, students, we are going to derive out the derivation for the formula of an electron showing you the orbital angular momentum. Let us move on to the derivation part of this. Now the derivation shows us that first we consider an electron revolving around the positively charged nucleus in a circular orbit. The second point shows us that the magnetic dipole moment due to the current loop is given by the formula small m is equal to capital I multiplied by A. If the electron travels a distance of 2 pi r in a time t, then its orbital speed, that is the small v, is given as 2 pi r divided by capital T. If I consider capital I, my capital I is going to be E divided by T. Let me consider now the time period. Now time period is nothing but 2 pi upon omega, and we know from the circular motion that omega is equal to the ratio of v upon r, that is nothing but the angular speed. Omega represents the angular speed of the circular motion of an electron. Now I come on to the sixth point, which is giving me the formula where I is equal to EV divided by 2 pi r. For this, when I consider on the formula, I would be writing that the electron showing the orbital angular momentum with a capital L is given as product of m multiplied by v multiplied by r, where me is nothing but the mass of an electron. Thus, we get the equation which shows us the orbital angular momentum, which is directly proportional to the angular momentum. Now we move on to the last part of your part 1, that is the magnetic material, giving us the definitions of the magnetization and magnetic intensity. Now, this slide shows you or gives you the definition of the magnetization and magnetic intensity. Magnetization is nothing but the ratio of the magnetic moment to the volume of the material, and therefore it is called as magnetization, represented by capital M is equal to M net divided by the volume, where capital M is a vector quantity having the dimension L raised to minus 1 angstroms, and the SI unit having capital A multiplied by M inverse. This is evident in the textbook. You all could go through the text which gives you a particular formula. Now we move on to the magnetic intensity. Magnetic intensity is being observed where your magnetic induction is proportional to the magnetization material, that is capital M. If I write down the formula, students, it is B is equal to mu naught M, where mu naught is the permittivity of free space. So when I try to introduce one more quantity, that quantity is going to be called as magnetic field intensity, represented by capital H, where capital H is again given by the formula H equals Ni. So these are the noticeable differences between the expressions for your magnetic induction and magnetic intensity. With this, students, we complete on your first part of the magnetic material. The remaining properties and examples would be explained in the part 2 of this chapter. Let us move on to the assignment questions, where the assignment questions are giving you write down the derivation for the electron or the torque acting on a dipole magnetic moment in a uniform magnetic field. We move on to the derivation of a magnetic moment revolving around the nucleus of an atom. We write down the definitions of magnetization and magnetic intensity. Very important questions from board point of view. Please go through the link that is mentioned out here. Try to complete your notes. Thank you.